for a request for, because
It's
it would
not,
be a non,
it's not an open hearing, but it still has to be public. If they want to come to once. And I'm not leaning hard on that.
yeah.
I would prefer to see.
Malcolm, you're on.
Oh, my light on? No.
It might be that mine is on and I was picking it up.
Okay.
It's confusing.
And the little green light will come on.
So Mike Fowler's not here.
Mike's not here. Malcolm, can we do, the selectmen would like the pledge of allegiance done before each meeting, so could we do that before you get started? Just saying.
Do you know it?
Talk about it.
I don't know if I can repeat it.
It came out last night.
Yeah, let me just leave it alone for now, because it came out just last night. I'm not ready to make that change.
Okay. Well, it will become part of your agenda items.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
okay. Surprises, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So, are we ready? All set? Greetings. Welcome, everybody, to the November meeting of the Ware Zoning Board of Adjustment. We have 4 members here tonight and 2 applications on the agenda, plus a request for rehearing. Before we start, I'd like to introduce ourselves.
Travis Corcoran?
Matt Yuri?
Kurt Markarian.
And Malcolm Wright. We have only four members here tonight, but that will make a quorum. If anybody here tonight wants to have a full vote, then they have the right to not have the hearing take place, basically. Move it to next month.
May I add a
yes,
sentence on that?
yes.
And just in fairness to applicants, the reason you might choose to do that is by default, you don't have the variance and you're here to say, I should get the variance. And so you need to convince a majority of the board on each of 5 points. So if there's 5 people, you have to get 3 out of 5, not necessarily too hard. If there's 4 people, you have to get 3 out of 4. And you might feel that that bar is a little bit higher, so it's a tactical decision. You're allowed to make whichever way you want.
Exactly. Well said. Playing the odds, basically. So, you guys have all looked at the packet. I didn't know anything about this request for rehearing, but it's my preference to take that up first, because it's a closed hearing. Still got to be public, but it's closed. Does anybody have anything to add to this? You want to touch on this at all?
I'm just wondering, because they called out a procedural error, and I don't know what the procedural error was.
That's,
Because it sounds like what they were talking about is when we were discussing point 5 after we had closed comments.
yeah.
It was closed, and they wanted to rebut something, but they couldn't because it was closed. So is that really procedural error if we didn't allow them to rebut?
I don't think so.
No, it is not.
Once the hearing is closed, we stop accepting new information. We stop accepting anything from the outside. And if that's when they tried to do that, then yeah, it's too late.
Because the
So-
chair always provides the opportunity before you close the meeting to have the applicant add any more information that they so choose before you close it. And you've done that every meeting. that I've attended.
Every single application that we have, we try to go through the same process, the same steps. And once we close the meeting, it's closed. And we give everybody, like you said, the opportunity. So it's my feeling that I don't see anything actionable here.
And the other part of that, what I was wondering is, right, they passed the first 4, it was part 5 that failed 2-2. And I was trying to look at what they had submitted with this, and it didn't look like there was new evidence. It kinda looked like it was all the same.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys read it or looked at it, but, so,
I couldn't find it either, to be honest with you.
that's my thoughts on it.
So, any other? No more discussion.
Believe it or
So-
not, nothing to add.
Basically, we kind of have a soft consensus here that we can't seem to find what the issue is. So, based on that consensus, do we have a motion to grant the rehearing?
And so it's done in the positive.
Yeah.
I motion that we grant the rehearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we grant this rehearing. Is there any discussion?
No.
Being none, all those in favor,
No?
No,
No.
and a no from me. Okay. Make room here now. Okay, the next application on our agenda is case 11-2025. You guys had a good chance to look at it? I'm going to start off by saying one thing here, start, I hope I don't go too far. This is an application for two variances. It should be two applications, not one. That's my thinking on that.
Malcolm, should we have a motion to accept the application as complete and then we can have the discussion?
No,
Or-
that's the
or
whole,
is you
the whole
wanna-
point of what I'm
Okay.
talking about right now is I wonder if we should hear this application, because it may not be considered complete. May or may not. I'm just throwing what I feel is going on here, and I'm looking for input.
I think that whether we do it today or next time, it would be good to have a bit more rigor with different applications for different things. We've run into this once or twice before.
Yeah.
And so certainly, I agree with your thesis, and I don't have a strong opinion on when we start that.
Right. See, I base my opinion on, I try not to be difficult. I want to serve the applicant, basically.
And-
But,
I
yeah.
would- Let me interrupt you just for a moment. I wouldn't say that it's your opinion, it's based off of our zoning ordinances and the RSAs.
Yeah.
So it's, because when you say it's your opinion, that can be swayed one way or the other. When we're looking at what we have in black and white, that's hard fact.
yeah,
So I agree with you as far as, I see it as two different applications based on our zoning ordinances.
right.
So I just want to make sure we have that clear, that it's really not an opinion,
Yeah.
it is based off of what we have in front of us and, you know.
Exactly.
Well said.
I just wanted to add that I could kind of explain myself, is part of the reason we have procedure. It can be a real bear sometimes. Nobody likes it in a lot of different ways. But one of the reasons we have procedure is to keep the confusion out. Because the more confusion that creeps into these applications, the more likely it is we're gonna have a problem down the road. Or if there's a problem, it can be a very difficult problem to get over. So we start, it's like building, you start and you keep your numbers clean, and in the beginning, then it gets easier as you go. But if you don't do everything up front tight in the beginning, you could end up with a train wreck. And if this went to court, if there, it's just a supposition there, but if it did, you'd have a hard time making any kind of argument, because there are two variances here that are being asked for on one application. I can't.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But that's kind of where I'm getting at, is I'm trying to make sure that it's better for the applicant.
yeah. And I'm kind of confused of what the variance is for. Because right in our thing, it's 352, which is 50 feet.
Right.
It says Article 36, which has to deal with driveways, and the 674 dot, or colon 41, 1 Charlie has to deal with building permit on a class 6 road.
Mm-hmm, yep.
So what's it for?
Well, and then you get, so Class 6 road, but when you
Yep.
read the application, it talks about private road.
Yep, and then there's a
So
private road.
it's, which are we talking about? So it is confusing in that aspect as well.
So do you think the application is complete?
So, I guess in order to do that, do we not need a motion to state whether, so that we can vote on whether it's complete?
That's what we, yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the application as complete as presented to us.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded that the application be accepted as complete. Is there any further discussion?
I would say that the application is not complete based on the fact that, what we have is a set of pictures, I don't, that are in here of a cabin, but it doesn't lay out. We don't have any site map that shows what they want to do, how they're going to do anything. So it makes it very difficult to see the picture that's before us, because right now, to me, what I have is a blank canvas and nothing on it.
Yeah.
And so I went through this and I had a very difficult time. I spent, 2 hours again last night looking at it, and I really couldn't understand a lot of it from the standpoint of, as to your point earlier, it really is two different variances, because they talk about, mainly they talk about one lot, not both. So, but they want a variance for both.
Right.
And so I do have a hard time with that. They, in the application, they stated it is noteworthy that a variance for habitated dwellings was previously granted for this property, but there's no case number, there's no evidence of it. And, to Matt's point, it talks about Article 36, which is driveways, and it talks about, the RSA 674:41, 1C, which, talks about the dwellings, or erection of buildings on streets. And as I stated before, we've gone from Class 6 to private road and back and forth, and it's like, well, which is it? I don't have anything tying the two together, other than the minutes from the planning board meeting, that they had authorized a conditional approval based on, 3 different things occurring. No building would be occupied without a variance. Equitable waiver for the existing cabin within the side setback was received February 7, 2023. Gives that case number, which is 04/2023. And then reference to the plot plan for tax lots 404/24 and 404/25. Which is fine, but again, we don't even have that associated with this, so I can't even see. Yes, I could have looked it up. I could have done that,
Just, I want to,
but it should
Put
have
in
been in
there.
here.
yeah. One line that comes right to me in the front of the application is part of our writing is incomplete applications shall not be collected and shall not be reviewed by the board. That's where we're at. And that's all I really have to say. If you guys want to,
Fully in agreement with those 2 points, and I want to call the checklist, item number 4, site plans of property at issue, identifying current structures, locations, et cetera. I believe a site plan exists because in the planning board minutes, there is discussion in line 42 that there was a plot plan, but I didn't find it in here, and maybe I missed it. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that item 4 on the checklist is incorrectly checked, and right there, I think that settles the entire discussion down to, is the application complete? No, item 4 is not present.
Okay, I'll put, any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion? There was a motion.
There
wasn't
was, and it was seconded, and it was in the affirmative.
there? Go on sometimes. All those in favor?
No?
No,
No.
And a no. I want to clarify that, the application's been denied, without prejudice. You basically need to resubmit, you have the right to resubmit the application and get more information, maybe split them up, do what you think you need to do.
And when you said maybe split them up, just to be clear, I think there was a pretty strong consensus that they should be split up.
Yeah.
So 2 applications, each with a copy of the same plot plan.
Okay.
And then also, Malcolm, you had called out confusion on our part, whether the issue was a Class 6 road or a private road, so a little bit of clarity there to help us understand what we're discussing would also
Yeah.
be good.
Okay, well, we're moving right to the next one. Case 13, 2025. And the same question. Same 2 questions. Have you had a look at it? What do you think of it? Is it complete?
I did look at it. Do have some questions on it as well, as far as the section or the ordinance that it calls out. It calls out the same ordinance of 3.5.2, which is
50 feet.
for 50 feet of frontage. I'm not sure, right now, I'm not sure how that is applicable, from the standpoint of there is an existing house on the property, and the existing house, unless the existing house was on a non-conforming lot to begin with, because it didn't have 50 feet of frontage, you know,
And the plot plan seems to show at least that much
Right.
frontage, so I don't
Yeah.
think that's the actual issue.
No, that's why I was confused.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not saying that the application isn't complete, but it is a bit confusing in that aspect.
Dalvin, can I say something?
Yes, since you're,
Yeah, last month you had another case.
wait. Could you identify yourself, your position and, yeah,
We'll get it there.
yeah. It's okay.
Melissa Salisbury, Land Use Administrative Assistant.
Okay, I'm allowing this because you're a land use, what's the title again?
Administrative Assistant.
Administrative assistant. You're part of the, unofficially, you're in this, so to speak.
Yes.
So,
Yep. So Kurt, you weren't here last month. There was another case that came before you, some folks that lived on a private road. It was almost identical to the case that's in front of you tonight, so I just wanted to remind you of that. There was some cases with some folks that wanted to add an ADU in an existing garage on a private road, and this was the process that we were told that they should go through. You weren't here last month to hear that.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate that.
thank you.
Now I have a question for you. Sorry. Took me a moment.
Yes.
Who gave the direction to go in this direction, I guess is the best way of putting
Yep, it was the planning board. Yep,
Okay,
yep. Yep, Bruce Fillmore.
okay, all right. So what I would say in the future, you're fine right there, Melissa, don't worry about it. What I would say in the future is if the planning board is going to give direction as to how the zoning board should be addressing issues, then they should be present for that so that they can verbally express what they have
I have a.
guided. So, you know, and if they can't be present, then they should be identifying
zoning code, please.
in a letter to us so that we're clear.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. I have just one technical issue here, is why isn't the documentation checklist filled out?
Oh, and I will make one other note so that it's on the record. Mr. Fillmore is actually an ex officio from from this select board, not the planning board,
Right, okay.
so.
Whenever I review an application, the first thing I do is I go to the checklist. And it is a required checklist. A lot of times there are things you can fudge with as far as, well, you don't really need this, you don't need a stamp on a lot map, as long as you have a decently drawn thing like that. But I see no X's here, which leads me to have to go in myself and try to figure out if it's complete.
So I have a thought, which is, I just triple checked.
Yeah.
3.5.2 is about frontage. I do not believe, and maybe we want to ask the applicant or something, but I do not believe that the text of this is at all asking for a variance from that. I think it's asking for something else, and therefore, I don't think that this is a complete application for the variance they actually want to get.
That makes sense to me.
I mean, because they are talking about an ADU,
Yeah.
not, you know, and, nowhere in the description for, excuse me, the definition for an ADU, does it talk about frontage? Being a requirement. Now, I'm not saying that it's not, but it's not in that definition. And what they are looking for is the ability to do an accessory dwelling unit based on the new House Bill 577, which they're well within their right to do so. I know our town has said that an ADU must be attached or within, but the House Bill has changed that.
Right.
And so they are within their rights for that. However, I don't see how it relates to 3.5.2.
So, based on that, would you think the application is complete? Rhetorical,
If
for
you
now.
look, if you overlook the article reference and section,
Yeah.
I would say that, I would believe that the application is complete. And if you'd like, I will make that motion so that we can then discuss it further. So, I'll make the motion to accept case 13-2025 as complete as far as the application presented to us.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded that the application will be heard tonight. Is there any further discussion?
I have a bit of further discussion, and this sounds like I'm jumping ahead, but bear with me, please. I don't think I am. Depending on what we think the application is really about, my answer might be, yes, it's substantially complete, let's keep moving, or we might, or I might say, no, it's not complete for that purpose. Having read this, I wasn't sure. It struck me that perhaps the application is saying, hey, this thing that I want to do with ADUs is in fact my right by law under the new House Bill 577, and I'm just doing this variance process because the ZBA or the planning board hasn't yet updated our zoning code to reflect that. If that's the case, then this seems like a very simple thing to discuss, and standing on nitpicking details about completeness would not serve anyone well. But it might also be that there was something I missed where they say, no, even with that new thing, there's still something where I want to bend the letter of the law. Could someone help me with their interpretation of which of those two things this is?
I believe it's the first one.
Okay.
That, you know, based on what's been written in the application, this two-car garage was an existing building with the intent to have living space above it. And they fully disclosed that, so I believe that I'm gonna say that they were misguided in their request for the zoning ordinance to be referenced. And, and
But it sounds like you're saying, yeah, they're just here asking us to apply HB 577. Great.
Yes.
That was mostly my understanding, I just wanted confirmation. With that being the case, we're now in the further discussion stage. I think it would be reasonable and useful to the applicants and to us to consider the application as fully filled out.
Great. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Yes?
Yes.
yes.
And a yes from me. Now we can begin. Thank you for waiting. It's like, we really just want to make sure we get it right.
As my pulse just doubled. Holy mackerel. You want to come and protect me? Well, good evening. Thank you for hearing this. I appreciate your time. Scott and Sandy Pellerin from 106 Cottage Road over on Lake Horace. I just want to clarify, we went in for a permit, and to get the permit, they said we needed to get a variance from 3.5.2, which is 50 feet of frontage, and when you look at the zoning ordinance, 50 feet of frontage is defined as a town road. So we're on a private road, Cottage Road is a private road.
Great.
So does that make a difference? And can my pulse, I'm like,
I would suggest that we've already voted, so the good news is even if it does.
Well, I mean, to your point, I hear what you're saying, and I was looking at that as well, but when you look at 3.5.2, it is clearly stated that it just shall have 50 feet of frontage. It does not state,
that
Private
doesn't,
road.
but when you go to now to the definition of frontage,
Ah,
so I was trying to get this in my head too, why I'm doing this.
I'm gonna go by what the ordinance says. It doesn't say that it has to be frontage on
yeah.
a town road.
Not the ordinance, but the definition of frontage
Understood.
under definitions.
Understood.
Are you an engineer or a lawyer? You've got-
We're here now. We're here now. I think we kind of got over that, so to speak.
Okay,
And I think I would invite you to go ahead with the application now.
okay,
Oh,
thank you.
5 points. Wait. Yeah, 5 points.
And you already got the detached garage, been there for a long time. It has septic and sewer, sewer and water is already run to it. So, we're looking to finish off the space above the garage. So, number one, the variance will not be contrary to public interest. The proposed ADU is in an existing detached two-car garage on the property. The construction is not adding to or altering the outside layout of the building. Since the ADU is located in an existing structure with existing ample parking, it will not change the essential character of the neighborhood. In addition of the ADU will not threaten public health, safety, or welfare, or otherwise injure public rights. Number two,
Question.
yep,
Sorry to interrupt. Just to clarify, I think I read here, you already have something going on in the garage. There's already something in place.
I don't know.
I mentioned,
The previous owner
Right,
had
right.
started, it wasn't
so
this couple.
most of what you need is already there, is what I'm getting at, or asking. It's already a unit there. You're gonna, how much remodeling you're actually gonna do?
We have to finish the inside.
It was just rough
Yeah.
framed.
It was rough framed.
There's no
and,
electricity,
okay, I got
right?
it.
Yep.
Yep.
You have, like you said, you have water and.
He ran sewer to it, he ran water to it, he had this vision over 15 years ago to do this, and
Right.
had a bedroom and a bathroom permitted for that space, but
Right.
he aged out and never did anything with it.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Number two, please describe how the spirit of the ordinance is observed. The proposed ADU is an existing detached two-car garage on the property located on a private road in what's considered a quote-unquote dense neighborhood in that area. The proposed ADU is in the spirit of HB 577 and will not conflict with the general purpose of the ordinance. No alteration is being made to the physical dimensions of the building, and there is existing parking. It will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. The construction of the ADU will not threaten public health, safety, or welfare, or otherwise injure public rights. Keep going.
Yep. If
Please-
there's any questions?
Number 3, please describe how substantial justice is done. The proposed ADU in the existing detached garage with existing parking will provide additional space since the existing house is 720 square feet, and it is difficult to add on to and increase the size in that area, being so close to the lake. It will allow us to provide separate space for my elderly father to stay with us and care for, and later will provide living space for our college-age daughter when she graduates. The proposed ADU is an existing structure, not altering the dimensional layout of the building, and only adding one person and vehicle will not cause harm to the general public.
So Scott, I'm just gonna interrupt you. So the ADU, based on the square footage of the garage, is still under 700 square feet.
It is way under. I think it's 24 by 28,
Right.
don't quote me, 628 square feet or whatever it is. There's 3 feet of it that's dead space because it's a gambrel. There's cold storage up there. I'm gonna go off the top of my head, 400, 425. Has a living room, bathroom, kitchen, bedroom.
Yep, thank you.
Please describe how the values of surrounding properties are not diminished. The proposed ADU in the existing detached garage will add value to the property and in turn most likely will increase surrounding property values. The proposed ADU will not change the physical layout of the existing structure and will not detract from any neighbor's view or enjoyment of their property since it is an pre-existing structure and therefore will not diminish the value of the surrounding properties. Number 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. The proposed ADU is in an existing detached 2-car garage, is located on property located on Cottage Road, which is a private road. The property has approximately 160 feet of road frontage, which meets and exceeds the literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance, which is 50 feet, but is not located on a town road. Since the property has ample frontage but not located on a town road, the literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. Number I don't have to read that, do I? No. I. The proposed ADU in an existing detached 2-car garage is on property located on Cottage Road, which is a private road. The zoning rule requiring 50 feet of town road frontage creates an unnecessary hardship specific to the property. The fact that the property is not located on a public road does not serve the intended public purpose of the ordinance, and therefore the rule's strict application has no fair and substantial relationship to these unique circumstances. And I, the proposed ADU is in the spirit of HB 577 and is a reasonable use of the property. The property has sufficient frontage but happens to be located on a private road not having 50 feet of frontage on a town roadway requiring a variance to the zoning ordinance 3.5.2. Now I sit down.
Any questions? Before you sit down,
Oh, questions, sorry.
any questions at all?
None.
Okay, great, thanks. I just want to make sure we get that
Thank you.
procedure, you know. All right. Are there any approving abutters here to speak for this?
I'd be approving of it.
All right, identify yourself and,
Chris Parmenter, 94 Cottage Road, and I have no issues with the variance that he's putting forward. It wouldn't affect me one bit.
okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other approving abutters? Being none, disapproving abutters? Being none. Boards, public at large, anybody else? Being none. Do you have a right to rebut anything? Add anything? Being none, I'll close this hearing so that we can deliberate and decide. What do you guys think? Do I hear a motion on
Prong one?
Prong one, thank you.
I make a motion to accept prong 1 as presented to us.
Seconded.
Been moved and seconded to accept prong one. Any discussion?
do my standard checklist. Under Gray v. Cedel, would the variance cause a harm? No harm has been alleged. Under Chester Rod and Gun Club v. Town of Chester, would it alter the essential character of the neighborhood? We have no reason to think so. Threaten health? No. Threaten safety? Threaten general welfare of the public? And finally, under the 1999 municipal law update, if the applicant makes even a cursory statement that it would not cause a harm, that is enough to create a presupposition that he's correct unless there is contradictory evidence. So I think that this one is a slam dunk.
Right, because there was no contrary
Right.
evidence.
Yep,
I agree.
I agree too. Any other discussion? Being none, those in favor?
Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
And a yes. Number one passes 4-0. Do I hear a motion for prong two?
I motion that we accept prong two as presented its entirety.
second.
Been moved and seconded to accept prong two in its entirety. Is there any discussion?
I would say that the applicant has presented a valid argument, if you will, that based on the fact that there is House Bill 577 that has been passed, and thus making this a legitimate variance request.
So I have one
Go
question.
ahead.
Yep.
I do have a question, right? Because the House Bill 577, so it says the minimum requirement's 750, maximum 950. So if it's a minimum of 750, but it's less than 750, can you-
That's the requirement, so that's speaking to
Okay,
what
that's-
the zoning code that we issue
Okay.
says. So what that prohibits is the Ware Planning Board from saying that the maximum is 500, because we
Okay.
want very small ADUs.
I just want to clear that up.
Yep.
That was in there, I'm like, all
Good
right.
question.
So
Good answer.
I had to sit through the debate. So with regard to 577, yes, except the applicant is before us today specifically in his words, because the Ware zoning code says 50 feet of frontage, but then goes on to define that frontage on a town road. So per our earlier conversation, he's not actually asking us to apply 577. He's asking us to say, hey, it's this road, but, I want you to consider the other road. And so I have discussion on two parts. One is, we often get applicants in here who say, it's a road with no development on it yet, but I want to build even though the frontage isn't on a town road. And we tend to rubber stamp that. I always tend to be the lone voice saying, hey, the town can do this, but really, the planning board should change the zoning code. And so I'm always that one quixotic vote saying no, but then sort of happy enough that they win 4-1. In this case, I think that because there is a lot of development, it is a slightly different case. There is a certain norm that is being applied in this neighborhood. And so I think that it would be unfair to try to enforce any other norm. So I almost want to argue that they should have the variance by right.
Interesting.
And I'll
Tend to agree.
counter that a little bit from the
yeah.
standpoint of, it's actually a twofold, question, right? One is how we define frontage, and 3.5.2 saying 50 feet, but also how we define an ADU,
Exactly.
which does pertain to 577. So it actually, they have presented a case for both,
Okay?
in my opinion. So,
I tend to agree. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Yes?
Yes,
yes.
And a yes from me. Number two passes 4-0. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to accept prong 3 as presented in its entirety to us.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to accept prong 3 in its entirety. Is there any discussion?
This comes down to, does the benefit to the individual outweigh the harm to the public? And zero harm has been alleged, so that's easy
I
math.
agree. I think it's a substantial justice.
Agreed.
Any other discussion? Being none, those in favor?
Yes?
yes,
Yes.
And a yes from me. Number 3 passes 4-0. Do I hear a motion for prong 4?
I motion that we accept prong 4 as presented in its entirety.
second.
Been moved and seconded to accept prong 4 in its entirety. Any discussion?
Again, the applicant said a thing, no one rebutted it, so, you
Yeah.
know, he wins with the presupposition.
It's always a sketchy thing to try to figure out what the value of the property is and how it's affected. We're not assessors, we're not appraisers.
Correct.
So we do the best we can. In this case, I don't see a problem with it.
I don't either.
Any further discussion? Being none, those in favor?
Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
And a yes from me. Prong 4 passes in its entirety.
I make a motion to accept prong 5 in its entirety as presented to us.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded to accept prong 5 in its entirety. That would be aye and aye both.
Correct.
Any discussion?
None?
Being none, those in favor?
Yes?
yes.
Yes.
And a yes from me. Prong 5 passes in its entirety, 4-0. Good luck.
Thank you. Now my blood pressure can go down. Holy mackerel.
Now we have 2 sets of minutes to take care of.
Wait, you guys started off with the rehearing thing there. I'm like, oh man, this is.
You're before hanging judges, that's the vibe, yeah.
And
all
then you
good.
denied the one before us, and I'm thinking, oh my God. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Where is it?
In the basement, right?
Either side, you can go either way, you can go out that door or that door.
House Bill 577, I'm just gonna read that.
Upstairs.
So let's, do the August minutes first.
Didn't we already do those last month?
Pardon?
We did those last month.
Yeah, that's my memory.
You only have October's.
Yep.
Okay. Why are they here?
Because you're
That's the
sloppy with
zoning
it.
board.
The planning board?
Planning board.
Yeah.
What the, was that in my packet?
No, it was in all of our
Wasn't-
packets, I
yeah,
think.
in your packet.
It was relevant to one of,
It was separated, it was separated from my, I thought it was separate. Well, that's good, we only have one then. We did that, jeez, planning board. Let's do the October ones then. Guys find anything wrong with them?
I did not.
Okay. We'll wait for Kirk though. Well, we have a situation where we have a quorum still.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
I just don't wanna go if
He's gonna
Kurt
say
has
he
some
wasn't here.
revisions, which I don't think he probably does. But,
Yeah.
feel like we should
Please,
wait.
well, okay.
Feel like we should wait, feel like I don't want to. So,
Maybe he's
here we are.
He's gotten lost coming back.
Longest meeting ever.
I don't know which way, did he go that way?
I don't know which one you went. I didn't hear the door, I must have gone that way.
We were just talking, I don't know that you'll have anything in December, we haven't heard from anybody.
And there's what now?
We
Yep.
have not heard from anybody for December.
Oh, cool.
she'll know that. after
Merry
Monday.
Christmas,
Not December off.
or happy holidays, whatever.
Yeah. Come back and have, 10 cases like last time.
No, usually the winter tends to slow,
Yeah,
because people aren't building.
yeah.
Come on, Kurt, do we get lost?
You must have.
There he goes.
There's 9 people watching. Oh, I have one. Oh, okay. I don't know, he threatened to watch it.
You only had 9 viewers tonight.
I don't know if my wife's watching.
So have you looked at the minutes and have any revisions?
I don't have any, you know, I wasn't here for the last meeting, so.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't see
Okay,
anything.
so, your motion.
To retire, what's the word?
To accept
Oh,
the
to
minutes.
accept the minutes.
Accept the minutes
Right.
as presented.
Sure.
With no amendments.
I so move.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Those, discussion, no. Those in favor?
Yes.
yes.
I'm gonna abstain since I wasn't here.
Excellent. So that's a yes from me. The minutes are accepted as presented, 3 with 1 abstention. Do I hear a motion to?
Can I just ask, can I say something to this?
Yeah.
So I just have this little thing. It says, as I complete my service as the town administrator, I want to express my appreciation to the many dedicated board, committee, commission members that I've had the privilege to work with over the past 30 years. You guys more recently in the last 3. I think all of you demonstrate a commitment, professionalism, and genuine care for the community. I guess I'm proud of what we've accomplished. It's been an honor to serve the town and its residents, and I wish you guys the best and continue on as I leave. So I just want to thank you guys. I know we've been together for a long time, so
Thank you, Naomi.
thank you guys.
I didn't know it was your last night. But,
board, I still have a couple more.
okay.
Did you, I know we forgot it last month, but I know you had said the question about minimizing the amount of applications we have in a night. Is that something we still want to talk about, or?
If you want to discuss it, generally, in our rules, we have the right to limit the applications up to a point, but if there's timely issues.
Yeah.
So if we have too many applications, then we're going to be put in a position to call another meeting, like Wednesday,
Yeah.
the next day, or something to that effect. The ultimate goal is to just keep the applications down, but we can't really control that.
Correct.
So we're looking at extending the night, adding an hour or 2, which we do anyway, if we have that many, which we don't want to do, or putting in the procedures, a situation where we'll have a second night kick in. But right now, it's kind of informally said that way. If we do have that, we have that opportunity. I would say that we could do that. If we come to a meeting, we have 8 or 9 applications. Before we open the meeting, we can discuss that and possibly move to take a portion of the applications and move them to the second night.
There's a very similar related option, which is we could perhaps work with the coordinator to, because the public notice goes out in advance. We
Yeah.
might just say, hey, 6 is the max for a night, and if there's, more than that, then, just set up a meeting the following day or 7 days later or something and bump all of them to there. And that might be good, because then we're not dragging out applicant number 8 and his 5 neighbors who are all coming to witness, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Or even, they show up at 7 and we say, hey, guys, why don't you come back on very short notice tomorrow? We're scheduling a new meeting, you know, that.
Well, that's part of why I was saying we could have something,
Yeah.
I don't think we should do it tonight.
Yeah.
But maybe we can each come up with our own version of that. And basically have a second night formalized, if sort of the second if night. If we have this many applications, once we go past, say, 4 or 5 applications on the agenda, they'll kick onto the second night automatically, or something to that effect. The only thing we have to worry about is other boards.
Almost every night.
Uh,
See, that's you're gonna run into, you have a 30-day window when someone applies.
Right.
And then this room is almost every night got someone in it.
Right, that's what I was just gonna say, we're
That's the
gonna
only thing.
compete for the room,
But you guys can address that as you need to.
yeah. Yeah, so I think we can.
So the action item is to brainstorm and be prepared to talk about it next time.
I think it's good, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I like it.
Could be 26.
Anything else? Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to, I so move.
Second.
Move to second to adjourn. Those in favor?
Yes.
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 Okay,
We're
wait,
done.
one second.
Now what?
Wait, no, I just gonna show you.
For a drink.
No, not yet.